So we're going to do advanced Aikijutsu. The first technique is wrist grab sakanuki. Sakanuki basically means going through the hole. So going through this space right here. So he grabs me, I bend my hand and I grab him. I step through the hole and pivot. I'm going to release my hand and I'm going to lead him out a little bit. And as I do, I'm going to step back with this foot. Bring his hand to the ground, and the pressure causes him to roll or land on his head. And then I have the hand, I'm going to lift it in the way it doesn't go and snap the wrist. And I will do it in a snapping motion. So our next technique, punch ude-gyash. So ude-gyash is a turning arm. It's very similar to shihonage. So if you think of shihonage, as the arm rotates in this direction, we keep a nice tight grip on the wrist, and then it pivots and it's bent, okay, causing the shoulder rotation and control of the body. On ude-gyash, it's a very similar motion, except that I don't keep such a tight grip on the wrist that it causes this bend to happen in his arm. As I go through, I want to let it slide a little bit in my hands so that I can maintain a straight arm. Okay? That's what's going to make that technique work. When I maintain a straight arm going through, right at the last second, okay, if you look at my hands here, I'm going to clamp down right here on the outside of the hand, and that's what's going to cause the tightness to make the person have to spin me over. So I'm doing it from a punch, counter tetsui, bring it down in front, slide through, kneel, clamp the hand, they roll over, and extend the hand to the elbow break. Okay, next, rear double wrist sankajo. So, in rear double wrist sankajo, they're essentially grabbing you and they're either holding you from attacking somebody else or they're dragging you backwards. Okay, so my reaction is I need to bring my arms in front of me. I can't just do that with raw strength. If he's stronger than me, I try to move my arms, I can't do it. So I want to mechanically find my way around his strength. And if we just look at this hand here, what I want to do is turn the hand upwards, like that. Then it's pretty easy to get a forward motion of a couple inches, and then I can lift my elbow. That 3 sets of motions there, here, forward, and up, is what's going to easily bring the hands in front of me. So, I do that simultaneously here, here, and then I back my body away, grip the hand, bring the person around sankajo, take them down into the classic sankajo. Okay, punch iriminagi. So you remember iriminagi from the lower ranks, that you've got the arm here in front, you're pulling the head down into the corner of your shoulder as you lead the person around. And when you want to go to throw, you use this shoulder and this arm to throw them backwards. So we're just taking this from a punch, whereas we did it from a choke before. So we're going to come here, bring it out and around, bring it down. Okay? So I can either do the soto adiyuki to bring them around, or I can do an adiyuki with a strike and then come under and bring them around. Both are good entrances. Okay, so here, around, and down. So if you notice at the ending of this Riganati, let's just turn this way. All I'm doing is I'm stepping angular across, and he's sliding down the leg and slapping. So that's sort of the safe beginner way of taking that fall. The more advanced way is when I'm about to cut forward, okay? And let's just turn this way so you can see what he did with his hand. He cupped my shoulder. Okay? And instead of just a nice step that steps like this, as we were doing before, now I'm stepping in with a kibidachi. My body motion is going in that direction, towards 2 o'clock. My throwing direction is going towards 11 o'clock. So the ending looks a little more like this. Okay? And that's what you should be doing at this level. So, punch, here. Okay, rear choke Iriminagi. Not much different than the last one, just a different attack. So on this one, the person's doing a rear choke, but instead of doing this sort of choking your neck, hand choke like you would do at lower ranks, or maybe you would do a kind of a throw, this one they're stiff arming you and they're pushing you forward. Okay? So what I'm doing is I'm reacting to the push forward by, instead of being resistant, like this, is I'm allowing my body to collapse. So he's going further than he planned. He didn't really want that. What he wanted was resistance, so he could push him forward. As he does that, I'm able to come over the top. So, he pushes, I bend, I sweep over the arms, bring him in nice and tight. Front choke soken in Iriminagi. So Irimi still meaning entering, meaning that I'm passing by the person. This time I'm going to pass by the person with my outside leg. So in front choke, I'm going to bow through. As I'm starting to come out the other side, I'm going to step behind. I'm going to lift my arm up. And when I get to the point where I feel a little tension, I'm going to cut it downwards. So one of the mistakes that's commonly made with this is people will get in and they'll stay bent over and they'll try to do it, but I've got no tension. Or they'll straighten up like they're supposed to, but they try to push against a person's chest and they just walk out around. So, make sure you're somewhat upright, heads up, my arms up, and cut downwards. Okay, front choke, Juji-nagi. Okay, so let's just explain Juji-nagi. Juji-nagi basically has one arm tucked up, the other arm over the top, and the pressure is coming down on his elbow. So of course that's going to cause his body to want to bend over. So I'm using a lever and a fulcrum just on his own body. So on this technique, front choke, I'm going to grab this hand, come over the top, sweep this arm over, and now we see we're coming to the lever and fulcrum. I'm going to make it even tighter. I'm going to slide down, I'm going to have a pull here, but I'm also going to have a push here, and I'm going to put something in the way, my leg. So here, pull, push, and over they go. Through, over, step, over. I can make this a little more advanced by, instead of having my leg, I can actually insert my entire hip in the kibidachi position, like this, and drive drive them over onto their head if I need to. And lastly, rear double wrist, sokumini riganagi. So let me show you what's going to happen on sokumini riganagi. When the person's grabbing the wrist, I need to take my left arm and put it up if I'm sweeping with my right arm, and vice versa. Okay. So I'm going to put my right arm up into my back, and what that allows me to do is to move close. So here, step behind, up until I feel him falling, and then a cutting down motion. And don't forget, when somebody's grabbing you from behind, they're keeping you off somebody or they're pulling you somewhere, so either way the force is going backwards. And so does the throw. As he pulls a little bit, you can see how the body motion was already headed in that general direction. Good. So one of the things I want to talk about when you're doing your advanced chart, very much at this level, you are really into the battlefield versions of a lot of things. So your self-defense ability happens at white and yellow. Blue starts to get into a little bit of the what ifs. What if people know white and yellow belt techniques? What if they know how to escape certain positions? It gets a little bit more into those type of answers. When you get into the brown belt, you'll notice that you can't really practice it super fast because it's really painful. So, especially with the Aiki, all of these techniques I'm doing with very seasoned black belts, and they know exactly how to fall. But even using one of these techniques on a lower ranking person could land them right on their head or be very injurious to their arms. So really when you're practicing with your partners, slow it down. And you'll see when you're taking a more advanced version of this at the black belt level, you literally cannot do it fast because you just, your body falls apart. So go at it with nice kind of flowing motions, learn how your hips are supposed to move, learn about your center. Those are the important parts for the Aikijutsu at this level. Thanks.